I want to bring in Maria Teresa Kumar, Executive Director of Voto Latino and an MSNBC contributor, and Amanda Terkel, Senior Political Reporter for the Huffington Post. Thanks to both of you for being here. Maria, let me start with you, Maria Teresa. One question here is, what could Romney and his staff be hiding, in your opinion, if anything?
That he's too much of a moderate Republican for the extreme base. Exactly what we forget is that just 5 years ago, he was actually pro-gay marriage and pro-choice. And while he was in the governor's office, he actually passed universal health care for Massachusetts residents. So maybe he has too much of a fingerprint of how moderate he truly is, number one. Number two, I could also see it as a problem for the Tea Party. What they believe in is that the government is truly about them, and it's about the people. So the fact that he's destroying or actually deleting public records that could actually give a trail of where his stance really is must give them some sort of unease that he cannot be trusted. And it really fits into this narrative that he's a flip-flopper, that he basically is hiding behind a shield and no one really knows what he stands for. Now,
Amanda, when I got up early this morning, I read a statement from Jonathan Gruber, the man who helped Romney create the Romney Care legislation in Massachusetts. And he says, and I'm going to show it to our viewers, this is Romney's architect of Romney Care. He said the same effing bill. He just can't have his cake and eat it too. He can try to draw distinctions and stuff. He's just lying. And when he's referring in that profane way to a bill, he's talking about President Obama's bill is the same as what Romney's doing. So I'm not raising this Boston Globe story to suggest they're hiding something illegal, but maybe what Maria Teresa is saying, they don't want a record of the flip-flopping and the stances that he once took that now he's taking differently. Do you think he's hiding something like what Gruber's saying?
Well, it certainly raises a lot of questions, which is, you know, why did they hide these emails? Healthcare certainly would be in these emails. It was the signature achievement while Romney was governor. He was probably praising the individual mandate since it was a very important plan. Perhaps he was even talking with Democrats about it. And you know, probably not what the conservative base would like to hear now. And so was Romney thinking of this? Were his aides thinking ahead, saying, look, he might want to run for president and he will need to run to appeal to Republicans? We don't really know because those emails aren't out there and they're not really saying.
Now, Maria Teresa, you may think that I've called Willard a flip-flop, and I have. But let me show you, Republicans even feel that he's a flip-flopper. These polls in Iowa, 47% feel he's a flip-flopper. In New Hampshire, 43%. Iowa, 48% says Willard will say or do anything to win. In New Hampshire, 43% say that Willard would say or do anything to win. And you know what? These are Republicans that are being polled. These are all just Republicans. So I think that when you have that kind of burden to overcome, you might not want people to have much of a record on what you said in the past.
I think you're right, and I think that's not wrong. And the fact that Mitt Romney cannot catch a break and break over 29% approval rating or 22%, whatever, that range, really says that they have an enthusiasm for everybody but him. And that's, I think, what the Republican Party really should keep an eye on. The fact that they were so confident coming into the 2012 election that they were going to have a grassroots Tea Party base that's going to get fired up behind a candidate, but now it's evenly split with everybody but him. Yes, he can go ahead and be the Republican nominee, but are they going to fire up the pace for the Tea Party to come out and vote for him? I don't think so, and I think that's what has everybody scratching their head, and that's why Newt Gingrich is increasingly looking like an attractive candidate, but he himself has his own baggage, both and on professionally, of whether or not he can actually carry the presidency. So it's going to be it's a tough field right now for the Republican Party just in general.
Amanda, is it possible with Willard? I mean, we've seen every week a different, or every other week, a different person rising up with momentum. It's clearly given indication Republicans just don't want Willard. How can he ever get over this 29% if he can't convince the Republicans of his authenticity?
I think he's just hoping to ride it out. He wants to be the tortoise in the race. The others are the hare. They will make big headlines each week. He won't do that, but they will make big headlines. They'll fizzle out. They might have a controversy like Herman Cain and the sexual harassment allegations, Rick Perry having his oops moment in the debate. They're hot one week, they're not the next. And Mitt Romney just wants to be that tortoise going along, building up his supporters and saying, look, I'm reliable. I may be more moderate, but I can go against Obama. And I think that is the strategy he's trying to do to get himself through this primary.
Do you think, Maria Teresa, that in the end that he will win by default because everyone that they raise as the anti-Romney just seems to implode?
I think so, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's not paying attention so much to the Iowa caucuses. He realizes that if he spends any time there, then it indicates to the media that he actually might win. And if he comes in second or third by not doing anything in Iowa, then he actually has a shot at the presidency, and he can control that media narrative. I think one of the things that he's also challenged with, though, is that sure, he can come out and be the Republican nominee, but every single candidate right now has a war chest that is going to really make a dent in his own war chest when it comes to becoming the Republican nominee against Obama. And I think that's what's making the Mitt Romney a little nervous, and not surprising why he's going after these jabs with this whole story of trying to blame the Obama administration with why they're disclosing this. So,
Maria Teresa and Amanda, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.